Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is March 4th, 2024, and I have an injury update for you in regards to both Pedri and Frenkie de Jong. Also, we are going to discuss Barcelona's alternative for the midfield since Pedri and Frenkie are injured. And finally, we will end the video by discussing Ter Stegen's shocking statements after Barcelona's draw against Athletic Club de Bilbao. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and I just ended the Barca News live podcast where not only do I get to share Barca news, but I also get to interact with you wonderful people in the chat section by reading your comments out loud, answering any questions and getting a discussion going. So if you haven't seen it by now, make sure you check it out. Now, I was supposed to upload this video earlier today, but I was having a lot of problems with my streaming software. So this is attempt number 3. Hopefully it works. Otherwise, I'm giving up. But anyways, having said all of that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Now, I'll begin the video by giving you an injury update in regards to both Pedri and Frenkie de Jong. Because as you already know by now, Pedri had to leave the field due to an injury. And after undergoing medical exams today, it's been revealed that Pedri has suffered from a right quadriceps injury, which is the same injury that has plagued him, that has plagued our midfielder. And it's been revealed that Pedri will be out between 5 to 6 weeks, which means that he will miss a lot of important matches, including the round of 16 match against Napoli in the Champions League. There's also the match against Atletico de Madrid. There's even talks about Pedri maybe even missing the match against Real Madrid, which are all important matches in La Liga title race. Now, it's reported that Pedri has decided not to undergo surgery because he wants to come back as soon as possible. You know, if he undergoes surgery, most likely he'll be out for the rest of the season. Pedri doesn't want that to happen. Of course, we also have the Euros in the summer, so it's understandable that Pedri does not want to undergo surgery. However, it's a little bit worrying because it's a bit reminiscent of Ansu Fati when he was recommended to undergo knee surgery, and instead he opted for conservative treatment, which he ended up relapsing from, and where he didn't look too strong or too comfortable, given that his knee hadn't fully healed. Hopefully that's not the case with Pedri, and hopefully he can overcome his injuries, but it's definitely starting to be worrisome. Now, in regards to Frenkie de Jong, the Dutch midfielder suffered an ankle injury. We all saw the very nasty footage where his ankle was pretty much at a 90-degree angle. He was so much in pain that he wasn't even able to walk off the field. He had to be carted off. And while after undergoing medical exams, it's been revealed that Frenkie de Jong has suffered a sprained ankle. So that's good news because given the images of how his ankle twisted, he could have easily torn something, and that would have meant the end of his season. Thankfully, that's not the case. It's only a sprained ankle, but it is revealed that he could miss between 4 to 5 weeks, which means that Frenkie de Jong could be coming back around the weekend of April 13th, which is the match against Cadiz. But it is reported that Frenkie de Jong will try to push to come back before, by the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Of course, if in case Barcelona do qualify, the Champions League quarterfinals will be on April 9th or 10th. So Frenkie de Jong will try to come back by then if we do qualify, which by then he would have completed 4 weeks of recovery. But of course, now with the loss of Pedri and Frenkie, our chances to qualify to the quarterfinals have diminished a little because these are two important midfielders. Now, that does beg the question, how does Barcelona fare without Pedri and Frenkie? And of course, I did do my homework and I went back and looked. But Barcelona have played this season 8 matches without Frenkie and Pedri. They won 5 of them. They drew 2 of them. And they only lost 1, which was against Real Madrid at Montjuic. So that's actually not a bad statistic. It looks like Barcelona does not fares well without Frenkie and Pedri. However, there is a caveat because all those times Barcelona did have Xavi, which this time around we will not have Xavi since he will miss the end of the season. Now, that begs the other question, which is who will Barcelona call up to replace Frenkie and Pedri? Of course, on the first team, we have some options. Looks like Christensen has become a staple in that pivot position. We have also Ilkay Gundogan, who's always been, or who has become a definitive starter. So that means that Xavi will have to find the third midfielder. Of course, we do have some options on the first team, which are Fermin Lopez, Uriel Romeo, and Sergi Roberto. And then there are three more options in the academy, which number one is, of course, the most obvious one. Marc Casado, the Barca Athletic captain and 20-year-old defensive midfielder who has featured on the first squad list several times, but has yet to debut. Then there is the highly regarded Marc Bernal, the 16-year-old defensive midfielder who has featured a lot with Barca Athletic despite being 16, because, usually 16-year-olds are playing with the Juvenil A or the under-19 youth team. But given his skills and talent, he has featured 17 times with Rafa Marquez's team so far, where he has scored 5 goals. And there is the other highly regarded midfielder that we have in the academy, which is Pau Prim, the 18-year-old midfielder who could also be an option for Xavi. We'll see who will Xavi call up. We'll see if he uses any of them. It'd be nice to see any of these youngsters get minutes, because after all, this season, the ones who have done best are the youngsters. Now, speaking of yesterday's match, Xavi Hernandez surprised me with his statements in the post-match press conference, where for the first time, maybe the second time, because I guess the first time was after Almeria, but for the second time this season, he was finally honest with himself and honest with us in assessing the match between Barcelona and Athletic Club de Bilbao, where Xavi said, "We did not play a good game. We should have taken a step forward because it was a very important day, and we are leaving sad because we did not offer the best version in a match that required much more. In the game, in sensations, in closing distances, in everything. It was a very good opportunity because we could have placed second and 6 points behind the leader. We knew it and we failed. Today, we really have to reproach ourselves for things and think that we have not been well." So bravo to Xavi Hernandez, who is finally being honest, saying that Barcelona did not play well, that Barcelona blew a great chance at moving up to second place and cutting distance between us and Real Madrid, and that Barcelona needs to do some self-reflecting because the team is not doing well. So bravo to Xavi Hernandez for finally admitting that there's a problem. Of course, it's something that I've criticized Xavi Hernandez in past videos, where Xavi Hernandez would always come up and say that the team had played well when they didn't. And I always said, if Xavi Hernandez cannot see the problem, how can he fix it? But now, finally, Xavi Hernandez admitting that, yes, there is a problem. Of course, that's always the first step. It's admitting that there's a problem, and then you can move on to try to find a solution and implement it. So good thing that Xavi Hernandez has taken a first step. We'll have to see whether he'll be able to find and implement a solution. Now, just as I was celebrating Xavi Hernandez's statements after yesterday's match, Ter Stegen had to come and shock us all, or at least shock me, with his statements, which were very disappointing. And more disappointing was because it came from him, which is not someone who I expected to say the following. Now, Ter Stegen was asked whether the team lacked determination, and he got very angry at the reporter that she had asked that. And his response was, "It's hard for me not to answer wrong. What this locker room does not lack is ambition, and I don't like people talking about this topic. No, not at all. It couldn't be, and we tried until the end." So disappointing words by Ter Stegen, and they're disappointing for two reasons. Because number one, it shows that, yes, there is lack of ambition. Otherwise, why would this question make him so angry? Plus, regardless of his response, we could all see that there's a lack of ambition on the field. But number two, which is the most important point, and I think that the lack of repercussions that have been going on for so long throughout this season has resulted in total complacency. Because here's Ter Stegen saying, "No, there's no lack of ambition. We simply tried and it didn't work out. So, oh well, what can we do?" And that shows a clear complacency, because there has been a lack of repercussions throughout the whole season. Jan Laporta said there will be repercussions for losing. We haven't seen any. And Xavi Hernandez has spent the whole season protecting his players at his own expense, where he has constantly defended the team's performance when the team did really bad. And in doing such, he was taking the most of the brunt of the criticism, which, of course, I've always said, it's not just Xavi that's the problem. The players are too. But Xavi has always taken the brunt of all the criticism by defending his players. And it's good that a coach defends his players, but I think Xavi Hernandez has done it so much that now we're seeing total complacency in the locker room where the players are not seeing anything wrong with their performance. They simply tried and it didn't work out. Oh, well, I guess we'll try again next match. And that's, of course, a big problem because if there are no repercussions, then the complacency will continue. And if the complacency continues, there's just no way to fix the problem. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.